Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your daily dose of World of Warships Legends shenanigans. We are in the Hsienyang, I'm sure I can't say that name right, but this is the Pan-Asian regular tech line of destroyers. You get the deep water torpedoes. I think tier 7 you get the option for radar, so we are running the radar build per the suggestions from a recent live stream, right? I've been trying it out. I've been trying to stick with the radar. I do kind of like it. I do think I am kind of leaning into preferring the radar over the smokescreen, but that would be your other choice. You could go the radar or have the 4 smoke screens, right? So we're going radar, and I tried to build into concealment a little bit. You could do a little bit more because I don't have all my inspirations picked for concealment, but basically, the way I'm trying to play this ship is to stay out of sight of destroyers. As much as we can. Most of them are going to be able to outgun us, especially if, I think this game in particular, right? So I'm kind of teetering on the edge of this zone here because it is contested, so we know there's another destroyer in it. So I'm just kind of trying to be careful, right? So we'll go where we're most valuable. I am out front trying to spot for my team and all that other fun stuff. We'll use a reload booster here since we've got an Iowa coming through and we had that shot at the cruiser. So we'll take another shot there, look and see where the hipper is going to go and dump some more for him too, right? So those reload boosters, you can see it's at 4 almost 5 minute cooldown, right? So you kind of want to use one early so that you have one for later. Otherwise, you're leaving one on the table, right? So we'll see if we get any hits here. But we did kind of have to sacrifice the B hole here, right? Zone B. Just because I didn't want to push up on all those ships and then get outgunned, right? So, yeah, we played it a little bit safe here. We'll help with the A-cap side and then circle back. And potentially use radar when we could, right? So we'll play around with this here. But, yeah. Hit on the cruiser and a hit on the Iowa. We will take some shots with the main guns at the Iowa. See if we can't trigger a fire since he damage conned the flood. See if we can sneak behind this island here and possibly go undetected here. I can see their enemy destroyer in B. It looks like he is just barely within our range there, so I have to be careful there. But, yep, there we go, undetected. We'll get some freebie shots here. We'll slam on the brakes and get as many in as we can. Yeah, we'll take whatever we can get here at this point. And that's going to make this side, right, especially since we kind of abandoned B, which I know a lot of people say is a huge sin, right? But that makes us a strong side on this side of the map, so we are going to use what we've got left of the engine boost and try and get our butts back over to B. It is still contested there, right? There's a battleship on our team in there, but Godspeed to him, right? Destroyer plus another battleship he's going up against. See how that goes. We are up 2 ships at the moment. Hsienyang manages to take out the Vlad.
Our team has taken the lead.
So now we are up 3 ships. Oh, never mind, just lost one. So we'll head in and then maybe we have some opportunity to use the radar, right? You have to kind of consider, right? You don't have smoke, so a lot of times you're still up close and personal with whoever you're radaring anyway, right? It's a verb, right? Because it's the range on it's only 7.5, at least on this ship on the tier 7, right? So we do have to be a little bit careful. But I think we've got a destroyer in a smoke screen, so that's going to be prime for us. That's going to be perfect opportunity to use that and see if we can't light him up and maybe even get some freebie shots on him.
Engine boost deactivated.
There we go with the radar, and yep, sure enough, there's a split in there, which also has radar as well, but I'm going to gather that he probably already used it, especially since he's got the smoke screen out already. So we'll take these few free shots that we can, and then I'm actually gonna turn back in and circle through, and because he could see us here for a moment, right? So he sent torpedoes kind of where he suspected us to be. And so in order to try to be a little bit unpredictable here, right, I'm going to actually circle all the way back around instead of going through, just in case he sent more torpedoes the other direction. Potentially get the zone capped here as well if he does move out, which he does. So now we are getting capture. Calling out for help just because these, like, if you notice, you look at the mini-map, right, we've got a couple of ships that are kind of chasing down the enemy carrier. It's always tempting to go and chase that carrier down, but I'd prefer getting rid of, I'll take getting a destroyer off the board over getting the carrier off the board any day, right? Then we can see another smoke screen out there. I'm going to have a good bet that that's the cruiser that's left. So I'm going to move up a little bit till I know we're within range of our torpedoes and get some torpedoes sent through that smoke where we can see the guns firing, which was in front. And then I'll spread them out a little bit, right? We'll fire some back too, just in case he moves. There's a radar, most likely from the split again. Only lasted a half a second there. Yep, and sure enough, it's a Dalian. That's the newer campaign ship. And there is the split. And we got the last destroyer, the Kagaru, behind us there. So hopefully the cruiser and carrier can finish off the Kagaru. I was going to take the shot just since we had it there, but then of course he disappears. So we'll keep pushing up on this cruiser since we kind of know we've got the game won at this point. We can be super aggressive. We'll take some shots at the split here. Oh, he goes dark. We do get the shot at we do get a hit on the Dalian though. So I used the torpedo reload booster, right, just because that's our last one, and this is literally the only ship left on the map that can actually take our, get hit by our deep water torpedoes. And then I did switch to the AP rounds there since he was nice and broadside, and that did a hefty amount of damage to him. It's not going to do as much on the split, so we'll switch back to the HE, especially since he's going to kite away. And we'll try and finish him off. We'll see if he ends up being a little... he tries to be a sneaky guy running away and kiting, or if he wants to stay and fight for a little bit here. We'll see. It looks like he's going to end us. We'll see how much damage we can do before we sink here. Alright, not much. He's got a tiny bit left. So we will fast forward this because he does end up kind of trying to draw this one out, right? I can kind of get the sentiment behind trying to do as best you can, right? But you've got your 5-on-1 here, so that's a little bit challenging. 6 minutes left. Given your like torpedo reload is like a minute or whatever, right? Like, I don't even think you could reload your torps enough times to get all 5 ships sunk, right? So we'll fast forward here, see who manages to get this kill, and then we'll go through the leaderboard as well, like I normally do. And then I'll do a quick revamp of how I have the build for what commander I'm using and what perks and stuff I've picked, right? This is a new one for me, like I said, so I think we bought the ship somewhat recently on live stream and just kind of went with what the folks that were watching decided, right? Like, people seem to prefer the radar, so I was sticking with it for a little bit here. We do get top spot on the leaderboard there with 2,600 XP, even though we died, and then walked away with about 200 grand in silver. And I am using this guy who's a free-to-play commander, and I think my inspirations are free-to-play as well. I went for torpedo range for the first one. I think this second guy, I don't know, I think you could do, maybe concealment might be a good choice here as well to kind of give you that nicer buffer of better concealment with better torp range, kind of what we're trying to build into the play style. I think you could potentially go like kind of a gunboat too, but this is kind of what was working best for me, so that's what I went for. Those deep water torpedoes are pretty sneaky and hard to spot, and this knuckle duster perk makes them even harder to spot, right? So kind of what I was trying to play into as best I could. And then of course, yes, I'm using Unstoppable, which is pretty typical for me for a destroyer build. But that's going to be our video for the day, guys. It was a pretty quick one. Thanks for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I do Legends videos, try to do them almost every day. So if you're subscribed, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And then I also do occasionally do some live streaming for Legends, and here and there some other games as well. But for live streaming Legends, I typically do a little bit more relaxed environment, just kind of have fun with the game, take suggestions on what ships to play, and all that other fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, I don't have a set schedule, so best thing to do there would be push the get notifications for my channel. That way, if we do go live, you can get an alert for it and come and hang out with us. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.